let's get into game 3. It's on Golden Wall, and Golden Wall is such an unusual map. So we are best of 5. Super V is frighteningly 2 games up. Yeah, Golden Wall, what a bizarre map. You've got this dividing wall that runs the whole way across the map that splits it into 2 sections, this lower section and an upper section. To access the lower section, you can mine out these mineral patches here. Once you're in, you've got this really interesting setup because obviously these golds can be mined from either side, which is kind of curious. And then once these are mined out, the lower section becomes kind of joined to the upper section. So there's all sorts of opportunity to get into your opponent's base by coming through the bottom, either elevatoring down there with medevacs or mining out the minerals on your own side. And you do have to send a reasonable number of workers to mine through these. These aren't single hit mineral patches because they're 20. So it takes 4 hits from a worker to mine out one of these. So with that in mind, you do need a fair old crew of workers before you can mine through that. Yeah, so Wyrm's going to come scouting and let's see what he sees. Everything, looking reasonably normal, I guess. It is gas before racks on this occasion, and it is going to be a marine first. Huh. Okay. Yeah, just safety marine or to clean out the scouting worker, not entirely sure. Wyrm's got his Nexus down before side core, so happy enough. You can't tell from the barracks what's building, and you see that the gas is finished. So it could well have been a Reaper, but you see the Marine come out. And so what is that telling you? It's you've got your gas up before your barracks, and you're not spending it. But it is Tech Lab coming down. I'm not really sure. I don't know what this build is. Looks weird. Anyway, on this side of the map, let's see how Wyrm is going to open up this time. It is single gateway. It is fairly quick Nexus. And it is a supply block stalker waiting to build. No, not the supply block on only the second pylon. On this side of the map, we are just cranking out Marines. No sign of what this tech lab is for just yet. So is it just going to be stim? Or is there something weirder than this afoot? There's no sign of a starport either. And there's no sign of a command center. What am I seeing? Armory building. CC on the high ground. Armory building. Is this going to be like some sort of weird Thor thing? Is it? Is that what we're going to see? I don't know. I've not seen Super V play mech. But, yeah, it's a Thor. Okay. One best Thor? I'm really confused now. Stargate's on the other side of the map, and Stargate is going to build Phoenix. Phoenix cannot lift Thors. Oh God, by blind luck, because there's been no scouting whatsoever, by literally blind luck, Super V is building the hard counter to what Wyrm is building. That's pretty awkward, man. Yeah, Phoenix are pretty light, and Thors do splash damage in the air. Phoenix clump pretty well, and they can't lift Thors because Thors are massive. Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. So I guess we'll see how this plays out. Is that like literally just blind luck? Just, yeah, I'm gonna build Thors. That just happens to be, I don't know. No, there's no workers building over here. Wyrm, build some workers. Come on, dude. Why is this production tab empty? Workers, always. It's only 4.5 minutes. Workers, always workers. Right, so he's pulled the boys, and Thor is on its way across the map. I don't know. Thor rush. It wasn't. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about this. This time though, there is a shield battery. There's a reasonable number of stalkers here, a reasonable number. Does Wyrm know that this is coming? I don't believe he does. Is anything in production? Not really. A little handful more stalkers coming in. So the Phoenix have surely seen this. He knows it's coming. This is going to be pretty tough to pull off, I think. That's enough stalkers to actually overcome. And the medevac's going to go down. Oh, the medevac! Oh God, it's a disaster. It always looked like a weird build from supervv. Right from the start, it was a weird build. And you know, when you see a weird build, often there's a reason you don't. It's weird because you don't see it, and there's a reason you don't see it because it's not any good. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, that's what's happened. Yeah, luckily Wyrm didn't really commit that heavily to the Phoenix. Only got 2 out before thinking better of it. So fine. The Phoenix will give sight to the stalkers. The stalkers are going to focus on this depot so that they can get in. Won't take them too long. supervv having to pull the workers. Arguably at this point you could use the Phoenix to lift workers so that you don't get as many. You need to move the stalkers forward though. You need to move. They're not all shooting, and I don't know. You don't want to be fighting the siege tank. You really don't. So Big Daddy Thor with 5 kills. These mules don't know why they exist. They're going to go back to mining. And yeah, production tab empty for Wyrm. Why is it empty? So looking at double robo with the robo babe, immortals are what you want against Thors, really, aren't they? If you can. Alternatively, just blink. So much blink. I think at this stage in the game, at 7 minutes with 2 bases mining, you know, your opponent, you know, is not mining from 2 bases. So just continue to hold on the stalker button, get blink up, walk up this ramp, blink on top of the siege tank, muller it. Ideally split the stalkers, so blink onto both siege tanks. Or better still, sacrifice the Phoenix to lift the siege tanks and blink under them. However you want to do it, but you can just break this with blink stalkers. You don't have to overcomplicate this. You know, double robo production off of only 2 bases. Okay, this one is building in the gold. It's going to be a while before it's up. But the bigger problem is this gold base is only a single gas. Single gas to run 2 robos. I'm not sure why there's a robo bay here. It isn't getting used. We're supply blocked as well. There's come on, Wyrm. Let's get this going. So is this enough workers to repair this? It's a good lift on the siege tank. It looks like it is going to be. Some of the stalkers are shooting Marines when they should have been shooting the Thor. The Thor is finally going to go down, but Wyrm does need to get out of there, I think. Can of course blink the stalkers using the warp prism, so he can just lift these out of the way, but loses 3 stalkers to that 1 siege tank shot. But it doesn't matter, this is the end. Surely get the warp prism in. Stop losing stalkers to siege tanks, please lift them. Or at the very least, you know, pop the immortal into the warp prism and just set it next to this siege tank, and that's the end of the siege tank. How many workers is supervv mining with? I think dire times here. More workers are falling. You've got the warp prism. Feel free to lift stuff. Lift, please lift this, and please. No. Please don't be losing the immortals. No. Turns out immortals are absolutely badass, and it kind of doesn't matter that they're fighting stuff they're bad against. But yeah, the unit management there left a bit to be desired. But look how far ahead Wyrm is. You know, he lacks gateways, he lacks blink, but he, you know, his income is hearty, and he is spending it on something. Right, 4 immortals we've got out now. 4 immortals. and that's a lot of Immortal. I'd love to see another Warp Prism and these Immortals just come in and smash everything. You know your opponent's got mech, you know they've got siege tanks. Immortals love siege tanks, they love to eat them. It's what they're for. Hang on, there's like a car alarm going off outside. I just need to check whether it's mine. As you were, nobody's trying to nick my car. Good. Yeah, so supervv finally up and mining in this bit, and so I dare say if we look at the income, you know, while Wyrm is ahead, it's not as radically far ahead as he might like to be. So he's going to come and have another poke. I don't want, you know, is Blink done? Is there Blink? Is it on the way? Please tell me Blink's done. It isn't. Is it on the way? It isn't. Yeah. There's an Oracle building. You never know. The Oracle might catch something out. There's a drop heading across the map as well. This one Stalker is sacrificial or something. Look how many Immortals this is. Needs to just make sure all of this stuff isn't on top of each other. How many shots does it take these Immortals to pop a siege tank? Roughly none. Marines are dying really, really very quickly. That's the next tank gone. So at this point you can just pull back out of the range of this siege tank and just deny mining. That isn't the command center you really need to focus on. It's this one. And God, the range on siege tanks is literally look at this. Is this going to be enough? I don't know. Again, the unit management isn't great. Where's the drop? It's parked. This is a messy game. Serious mistakes happening on both sides. An atrocious build on the side of supervv. Look, this drop has just caught himself with about 10 workers with this. The warp in at home should be enough. But ideally you could walk in on the other side of the map, wouldn't you? All of these Marines are going to be forfeit. Wouldn't you love to have Blink done so that you can just conveyor belt these Stalkers and lose none of them? But that's not what's happening. There's 2 Colossus on the way across the map, and those can help. They've got a lot of range, so they can certainly protect you from the Marines. This Oracle, I don't know why it's here. What are you, Oracle? A mistake? Fly it in round here and get some work done. Absolutely. Have it with your army? Why? I don't know. So there's double turret building at the front, and that's not a bad choice because, of course, turrets do shoot Colossus. Okay, the tag is reasonable. Yeah, bit of a standoff. This all feels a bit weird. I don't know what to say about this game. I do not know what to say. For the longest time, when I saw that weird opener from supervv, I would have laid reasonable money that Wyrm would have finished the game and won it by about the 7-minute mark. But he's thrown a lot of units at only a couple of siege tanks, and you know, freaking hell. Charge is done though. That is excellent news. The Oracle can actually absorb fire from the turrets. So the Zealots get on top of the Marines, and a little bit of friendly fire from those siege tanks at the back. The Marines are backed up into a corner. Colossus unfortunately shooting a siege tank instead of Marines, and Colossus don't kill siege tanks, they do kill Marines. The siege tanks though finally get knocked down by the Immortals, and my goodness, thank God for that. GG.